Huh?
Hello and welcome to our next in the series of Art in Isolation. And we're joined this morning by two Canada geese.
Yep.
First things first, congratulations to Vincent Paxton, who was the first person to come up with the correct artist for this little painting, Craigie Aitchison. He was a wonderful artist, died about 11 or 12 years ago, and he was known for his images, amongst other things, of the crucifixion. And there's a suggestion of death and, who knows, possible resurrection in this darling little image of a deceased blue-tit. Today I'm going back inside the barn, and I'm also going back in my life as well, to the earliest days when I was an art dealer and when I went to New York, for I did. When I was in my mid-20s as a fledgling art dealer, I used to very regularly go to the States. And there was a reason for that. I was specialising then in nothing other than portraiture, portraits. And in the late 19th and early 20th century, great crate loads of paintings of people's faces from Britain went out to America when the fashion was riding high. And in the 1980s, this painting came up on the rostrum. Now, I remember that it was huge when I saw it on the wall, and it's still pretty huge, to tell you the truth. Well, what does it represent? The date, and you can tell the date, incidentally, of all of these people around us, is around about 1735 by the Whigs, because in the 1720s they got as long as they dared get, and then by about 1728, 1730, 1735 they began to move up. Every day was a good hair day in early Georgian England. So what we've got here is a group painting of a musical gathering, and each one contributes to the production of what must have been possibly quite a pleasant musical sound. Now, when this picture came up, it was described as American school, early 18th century. That was rather curious. I know why they said that, because it looks quite primitive. It doesn't look like one of these highly sophisticated pictures that are done in London. And sometimes there's a tendency to call anything that looks, and look at these faces, look at the way the drapery is done, look at the slightly simplified features. There's a tendency to describe anything that's not top drawer English in the 18th century portrait department as colonial or American. Don't be offended, America. You produced some wonderful artists later in the 18th century that put us all to shame, people like Benjamin West and Copley. When I got it back to England, and it was extremely dirty, covered with sort of discoloured, grimy varnish, I began to think about what was going on here. I was particularly drawn by the star in the middle of the table. Do you see that fabulous, rich Persian rug? But on it is this six-pointed star. And it seemed to, in some way, act as an anchor on all of the figures around. It was drawing them in. It was giving them a sense of unity. But more was to be revealed when we cleaned it and I got up closer. And in order to show you what I mean, I'm going to have to mount to this chair and get up. Because as the dirt came off, as we began to look closer, so names began to appear above each face. We've got a chap called William Lowe, a chap called J. Hale, J-O, it looks like Rippendale. So it began to make sense. Now, the more I looked into it, the more I began to realise that actually this was part of a long tradition. That from the 17th and early 18th century, there were many such amateur groups, and that required finding out more about who these names were. And this I did by having a look at records of the period of Oxford and Cambridge University, because someone had tipped me off that the universities used to have these little musical gatherings. And it was Cambridge that I homed in on, with the help of a friend who was researching for me at the time. And he established that 2 or 3 of these Ames, Rippendale, and I think Hale were Cambridge undergraduates. And in the top left-hand corner, you've even got a servant. His name is above his head. I think it says Wendell. And the sweetest touch, the dog in the bottom left-hand corner. His name is Boozy. But try as I can, I haven't been able to establish who the artist is. There are traits and characteristics about this painting which may one day give him or her away. I sold it to a lovely family in Kensington who had it on a huge wall behind their dining room table. They had to move. And about 17 or 18 years ago, I bought it back. I didn't at that point have anywhere to hang it. And we put it into storage. And I knew that one day it could stand proud in our lives. And when we bought the house, up it went. And every night now that we eat here or spend time here, they serenade us and will continue to make music in our house into eternity. It's been lovely seeing you all. Thank you so much again for all of your wonderful responses. You know, we laugh, we smile, we're almost moved to tears on occasions by what we get back. Thank you very, very much. And I'm coming back tomorrow, but now in the time-honoured tradition, I want to leave you with a teaser. So, see that picture up there on the wall? I want you to tell me where you think it's painted. Now, the hint is the towers in the background. There may be a bit of artistic license, but artistic license is something that we all bask in. See you tomorrow.